This is Talk, the home of common sense for me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. 11:52 is the time, just to let you know that Axel Rudikabana is now in the dock at Liverpool Crown Court, and that the sentencing hearing has now begun. This after he had was taken to hospital in the early hours of the morning and needing hospital treatment. We haven't been given the details of that. I think a lot of people could probably make a guess about what may have happened. He's in a segregated cell, so but it will keep you updated on any developments on what is said in that court. There won't be any cameras in court for quite some time, no audio from the court. Right now, let's turn to our attention to one other subject I want to talk about in this hour, and that is Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, vowing to override the whims of NIMBYs. That's what he claims he's going to do. Anyway, he's promised to curb legal challenges against big building projects, whether that is the likes of new power stations, reservoirs, railways, and indeed, maybe runways, extra runways at London's airports. Let's talk about this with James Hummerstone-Pope, who is a housing expert. A very, very good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for joining us, James. Now, look, I mean, we've seen enough NIMBY action in terms of preventing housing being built. Everyone goes, we need to build more houses. Oh, just not here, not in my street, not in my village, not in my local area. Keir Starmer wants to go further and override some of the major legal actions which are taken against pretty much any project, usually on the basis of climate. Nearly always is about, the lesser spotted newt or vole or something. Tell us how that would work.
So essentially, when we break it down into numbers, they are going to reduce the number of times people can request to appeal something that wants to be built, be that a runway, be that a power station, be that homes, and they're going to reduce that down by 1 to 2 from the current 3 times that someone can appeal it. The other thing they're going to do is Keir Starmer's planning on enforcing timescales and targets within the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court, and effectively publishing those as effectively a list of league tables, so we can see which areas are failing and which councils are not keeping up with their end of the bargain. Right.
I mean, the key thing is we do need these major projects. We need to be able to have runways. We need power plants. We need reservoirs. No one wants them near them. The government already has the power to override a lot of the objections. Say this is critical infrastructure. We get the power to override this. But a lot of these projects, the government doesn't use those powers, but they end up in the courts for years and years and years and years. I mean, you want to build an airport. I mean, basically, settle in, grow your beard, raise a family,
maybe your grandchildren.
Raise your grandchildren, exactly. That's what happens. Other countries don't live like that. I mean, again, okay, we talk about, China builds this many airports in a week, but actually, other democratic countries, like France, like Germany, like the Dutch. I mean, you think, well, we're a very small country. You build anything anywhere, it's going to bother people in a different way. The Dutch managed to do it. Schiphol Airport's got 6 runways. Our biggest airport's got 2, for goodness sake.
I know. It's when you break it down into those sort of facts, it is crazy that we allow people to protest so much about things that halt not only the country's growth, but our economic growth and our quality of life as well. We have to get to grips with the fact that, we are a growing population, which means we need better infrastructure. And if we need better infrastructure, it's got to go somewhere. It can't go out into the sea.
I mean, I'm all in favour of people being compensated, for putting up with the noise and their homes are. I've got friends who've, had their homes, compulsory purchased because of HS2 and the like. It's horrible. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. I think people need to be well compensated for things like that, but we do need this stuff to happen. Do you have any hope that this is going to happen? Because we know that, the last Tory government went on and on about all this planning, and then they backtracked when they had a load of Tory MPs in the shires whose constituents are going to be affected. Now a lot of those Tory MPs have been replaced by Labour MPs, very narrow majorities, just there. So an awful lot of them may suddenly go, I love the idea of this in principle, but not here.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think what we will see is that a lot of the Labour backbenchers will start to worry about their seat. Let's be frank, they haven't had a wonderful time since they took over government. So they're going to worry about their seat and think, well, I need to push it away from my area, but it can be in someone else's backyard.
Yeah, and it always is, isn't it? Again, it's not
Always.
NIMBYs, it's bananas. Build absolutely nothing anywhere near anyone. So there's one thing I actually agree with this government on. It really is. James Hummerstone-Pope, thank you very much indeed. Philip Ingram, former senior military intelligence officer. I mean, you know, you need the military to get this stuff done, don't you?
Oh, yeah, well, very much so. But, you know, I think Keir Starmer's got bigger problems. It's not just getting rid of the whims of the NIMBYs, it's getting rid of the whims of the wokies. And most of them tend to be on his front bench.
Yeah,
absolutely. Until he does that, then he's on a hiding to nothing.
But the trouble is, you are going to have to push this stuff through. But it's amazing, actually, how much of this, it does happen.